Hey everyone, welcome to Logan's Mosh Pick. Glad to have you here. Do me a favor and please subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're going to do another episode of the Setlist Snubs series. In this series, I'm going to go through a handful of songs from different bands that don't get played live very much. However, I'm going to give you some reasons why I feel like those underrated songs actually deserve to get played live more often than they do. If there's someone specific you guys want me to talk about in a future episode of this series, please leave a comment down below. I'll check your feedback. Today we're going to take a gander at some underrated Seether songs that have been rather reclusive live. Seether seems to be drawing in new fans every day because, as you know, there's a lot of angry people out there. I'm only half joking, because Seether truly comes through for you when you want to blow off some steam. Super thick-skinned material. Before we locate hidden gems, though, I want to reiterate reasons why all bands, not just purely Seether, take certain tunes along with them on tour and give others the boot. I do this every time to ensure new viewers stopping by for the very first time are on the same page as the rest of us. For the rest of you, the ones who are accustomed to how the Setlist Snubs process works, please skip ahead a few minutes. The first reason is casual fans strongly prefer sticking to songs that have, gained traction. Signature songs that turn various groups into household names. Using Seether as an example, songs like Gasoline, Remedy, and Broken. These songs are definitely no stranger to any Seether fan, and for the collective of casual fans, the ride stops here. The next reason would be a lot of pressure that can be traced back to fans and even fellow band members. Essentially bogs down bands everywhere they go to remain committed to their most popular tunes during concerts to keep fans who show up in an elated mood. When fans head out happy with the choices made after the performance concludes, the possibility of them ordering tickets to another show later on increases. Obviously, that leads to more money in the band's pocket. Another reason is related to albums that didn't necessarily set the charts on fire. Songs which made their first appearance on those underwhelming albums probably won't become regulars on the set list. This is because most of the crowd would give them a pretty chilly reception. Reason 4 involves tracks that are intentionally scratched from the set list simply because the folks who created them have lost patience with them, persistently nagged them for years on end. As a result, they cut all ties to it. Believe it or not, this scenario happens more often than you would expect. The fifth reason focuses on a crucial difference between casual fan bases and hardcore fan bases. The casual fan base has a considerably larger stature compared to hardcore fans. There are many, many more casual fans inhabiting the planet. So from a sheer numbers advantage, casual fans benefit tremendously by exerting a seemingly far greater influence toward which songs bands are quote-unquote allowed to play live. The final reason concerns tunes which kind of shoot themselves in the foot since they use studios as a crutch. A particular batch of tracks gets manipulated on a technological level within a studio to such a massive extent that they falter live. Stages lack sophisticated equipment available in the studio. Because of that, the transition would be doomed to fail nearly every time. Now that we've exhibited potential explanations, let's move on to special Seether statistics I pulled from Setlist.fm. I'll put a link to Setlist.fm in the description. In order to travel to Setlist.fm, just go to Google, type in practically any band that comes to mind, followed by tour statistics, and tap on the very first result on your screen. What you need to know about Setlist.fm is it is a nearly infallible music source. Basically, to borrow a phrase from Pawn Stars, the holy grail of musical knowledge. Songs, albums, tours, whatever you're searching for, I guarantee it will be on Setlist.fm somewhere. According to Setlist.fm, Seether started touring in 2000, and Fine Again currently holds the record, as far as songs go, at a majestic 788 times. To simplify this number, imagine your goal was to listen to Fine Again 788 times in a row, non-stop without any breaks. How much time would pass? The answer is 192,272 seconds, or 2.2 days once you convert. Since the stats are history, it's time to carry on to my list of 5 overlooked Seether songs. Each one belongs to a different album. Hopefully a few of them will be new to you. I'll put a link to all 5 songs in the description as well for you. 5 definitely doesn't do justice to the underappreciated Seether scope, so if you can think of any other awesome deep cuts from Seether, you're more than welcome to drop them in the comments. Let's begin by talking about Burrito off the Karma and Effect album. Burrito has appeared on the live menu approximately 137 times, 17% versus Fine Again. The title reminds me of that scene from Beavis and Butthead where they're sitting in Spanish class. The teacher asks Butthead to translate a sentence from Spanish to English, and he says, burritos? This song features a feral opening sure to induce headbanging. Meanwhile, the lyrics seem similar to a pot on the stove bubbling over. My favorite pair of lines were probably, "My life in monochrome, wish I could regain control." Seether should feel extremely proud of Burritos. I'm convinced that the spectacular song Burritos will certainly prove as tasty for your ears as the real thing is in your mouth. Next I went with 69T from the debut Disclaimer album. Crowds have been able to drink it in 70 times to be exact. I absolutely love the daring nature of the lyrics such as "Save me, smiling Jesus, get off that cross." You get the impression throughout 69T that this individual has been so mistreated by society that he wants to give it back tenfold. Calluses develop along his heart. He really personifies that lone wolf, I walk alone concept. I can handle whatever happens on my own. I don't need any help type of vantage point. I think 69T shares a lot in common with Metallica's Welcome Home Sanitarium, as a matter of fact, as if they were cut from the same cloth. By the slimmest of margins, I declare 69T as my favorite underrated Seether track. Maybe my favorite Seether track, period. I don't know. I haven't found a Seether song I didn't like yet. After 69T, allow me to introduce Desire for Need, an outstanding tune that lives on the album Holding On to Strings, Better Left to Fray. So far, the desire to debut live hasn't been fulfilled yet. Lead singer Sean Morgan really pushes that sentimental feeling onto listeners through a few pleasing pitch adjustments. He chronicles being caught up in a power struggle. If music that invokes wretched screams strikes your fancy, then Desire for Need is a perfect fit for you. Between the slamming instrumentals and ripping vocals, I doubt that anything could adequately contain or escape from Desire for Need. Don't Believe receives a turn in the spotlight now. We can thank Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces for bringing Don't Believe to us. I believe Don't Believe has been left out of every single Seether show. Well, don't believe that this song is lousy. Far from it. This fascinating song starts off on a somber note and quickly accelerates into loose cannon status. Based on the lyrics, it cobbles together a story of someone on their last legs. They have nothing left. Much like 69T, the main character doesn't want to let anyone in. Enough damage has already been done. While basking in Don't Believe's world, my heart really went out to him. It definitely put a lump in my throat. Nevertheless, I still picture myself going back to it again. Finally, when the smoke clears, we're left with the track called Cigarettes. It originated on Disclaimer 2, a revamped version of Disclaimer 1, with some new goodies included. Sadly, Cigarettes has been extinguished at all the Seether concerts too. A big fat 0 stuck to it. My ears discerned a slightly bluesier edge to this particular Seether concoction. It was still quite heavy in a traditional way, but noticeably lighter from an emotional perspective. Delves deeply into how powerful peer pressure can be. There's a monumental guitar solo that stretches on for almost a minute. For that reason alone, I would highly recommend that you find out if you will be as content with this forgotten favorite as I was. That does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Until then, rock on.